nonprofit world, this does not really differ from anything else I've heard today. I think procurement is procurement largely, right? So there aren't a ton of differences. I think the main difference is instead of shareholders, we make most of our money from on the backs of medical students and residents, and so we really are try to be absolutely responsible with that money, and keep that top of mind at all times. So in going through this process, as I mentioned before, we are second generation, so once bitten, twice shy, right? And we really wanted to make sure we had full stakeholder alignment, that we really put together all of our requirements, from soup to nuts, of all the needs of as much of the association as possible. We also really wanted to make sure, as we were working through this sourcing project, that we were looking at total value instead of just the budget. So those are the main things that we were focusing on.
Yes, thank you.
And then, Abby, just to build on that, did you have internal budget constraints that you had to navigate in selling the process that you want to talk a little bit about? People in the audience might be experiencing.
Sure. My CFO is not here. He is right next door. But starting at the top, right? So I had to have, I feel like even to initiate this project, an absolute solid business case, what we were going to be able to deliver from an ROI perspective, which the Zycus team we're hoping to deliver on, right? So that building that business case even before we could launch was step one.
Thank you, Abby. So, Nicola, as you're navigating the regulatory complexities of your organization, and especially in Canada, what features did you prioritize in your source-to-pay selection? And then did you have a focus on compliance and efficiency? And you could talk about those priorities, which you can have a consensus and give you that internal stakeholder alignment.
Thanks, Jill. There's a lot in there. So first of all, for those of you that may not have an appreciation or awareness from a healthcare standpoint and regulation in Canada, we have 10 provinces who all have their own regulation from a procurement standpoint that has mandatories that we must do. And because we're a national body, and of course we have to meet those, we also have our federal, the CFTA, and we also have global, which is CETA. So our hospitals are funded by taxpayers' dollars. So it's super important that we follow those regulations. So first and foremost, when we're creating the criteria for the selection, so this was a public tender for me, also with some invitations. So Zycus was invited, as well as the public tender. We had key criteria around that and the importance of that and being able to meet those mandatory requirements or regulations. So one example of that would be when I post, so today I use a platform called Bid and Go, and I know it says my public tender or my request for proposal, or my request for information. When I post to there, I then have to go in and post to every other province's bidding platform because I have to be open, get transparent, and I have to give consideration to anyone who can supply to those specific specifications and technical deliverables. So one of the key criteria for me creating efficiencies within our process was a platform that I could post once and therefore then spread out everyone else that was required. So that was it wasn't a mandatory requirement, it was a written criteria and had a heavy weight to that. One of the other things for us is our company is on a long-term planning journey for business transformation. And one of those pillars is world-class procurement. So as someone who's providing procurement services and contract management services to 1,300 hospitals, we want to be the ones to do it the right way, the best way, and lead by example. So that was also an important consideration for us. And part of that, the reason why I talk about our business transformation is because we implemented D365 from our members' perspective and the CRM module. And then from a finance standpoint, we implemented another Microsoft, which is Business Naval, or Business Central, sorry. I had to have API for my sourcing system to talk to those two and to interface, so open API. That was a mandatory requirement. And so one of the big considerations when selecting Zycus is because they have that API that exists, which means less resources for me to have programming in the background to be able to create the interface to be able to share information.
One final question, and I know both of you mentioned this, but when we talk about AI, Gen AI in the future, what are you most looking forward to with solving within your organization? If there's one problem, you got a magic wand, what would that be?
Yeah.
I'll take first.
I am super excited about risk reduction. Unlike Delta, we have a team of 4. And so making sure that these humans read every single line of every single contract accurately and quickly is a huge risk for us. And so having lovely AI available there to help highlight some of the risks for us, I think it's just going to be enormously helpful. And hopefully catch some important things that, even maybe just the business terms that make things easier for us. And I think also from risk reduction, we talk about supplier risk too. And so getting that 360 view from suppliers, like for our actual suppliers and potential suppliers is huge, right? So let's not even have this sourcing event with someone who is on the OFAC list or, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm most excited about.
It's very good. You must.
Yeah, Jill, that would be my big ones too. But there's another one from a healthcare perspective, supply resilience and predictive versus reactive. So I sit on the medical device and drug shortage committee across the country, and every month we talk about the shortage that's now happening. Think about it, if I could come to that meeting with, in my system, my AI just ran and said, hey, we had this happen so-and-so, or this organization is in a labor strike, or this organization just had a machine blow up. Think about it. Think about the value that we could bring to that community by doing that. The ability to be able to say, you're not going to get that product, but here's another product that's potentially okay, that got clinically validated, and now no procedure is impacted. No one or whoever shuts down. That's the big thing for me, and what I'm most positive about.